Hey everyone, Zoe Swain here from zoeswain.com. Recently moved to Newcastle in New South Wales from Canada, and um, I have just today finally taken my first client in my consult space. I've been keeping a pretty low profile since I've moved here. Just been trying to find a beautiful rental, a beautiful consult space, all the right ingredients. Been spending a lot of one-on-one time with my kids and the beach, and just really enjoying the holidays. The school holidays. Pretty much my life is a holiday. So it's really exciting for me. This afternoon I'm really excited because I've just finished a 2-hour consult, a hypnosis consult with a client who wanted to quit smoking. And funnily enough, those of you who know me know that I do a lot of different things in my business, and I delve into so much, but I delve into things that really light me up and things that I love to offer to other people, and things that I've learnt that have helped me along the way, and that I just have so much passion for. And I think they call it like a multipreneur or something like that, like someone who, there's absolutely no shame in offering different things that you love to offer. For instance, I do a lot of massage, I do hypnosis, I work a lot with women around breaking down walls, letting go of our bullshit stories, relationships, man language. I do a lot with raw and naturopathic nutrition. So much stuff that I really love to delve into. And I've been feeling lately a calling to work. I've been asked quite a bit. Hello, Sarah. Thank you. I've been feeling a calling, or been asked quite a little bit lately, that's random, to work with men. Like, I work mainly with women. And I've been asked by a few different people, just bringing up, hey, would you be interested in doing workshops for men? Would you be interested in talking, doing sessions with men? And funnily enough, I've had a couple of sessions lately, even just chats with men and friends and clients that I've been taking on sporadically in the holidays, men clients, that I think I'm ready to start working with men. I find, hey Shelley, beautiful to see you. See you on Facebook. So around relationships and around how to understand women a little bit better. I think I have a pretty good grasp of that. Those of you who do know me know that Pete and I separated quite some time ago now, like properly about a year ago, and we have an amazing relationship. And funnily enough, I was talking to a beautiful man yesterday who was like, whoa, that's something you don't hear of at all, people who are separated, who have a good relationship. And I think Pete and I are really, really proud of that, because we're so close that we hate each other from time to time, as anyone does. God, we hate our own children from time to time. That's the ultimate, like, whoa, does that really happen? Yep, does. Hello, Kathy. And so, but most of the time we are incredibly loving towards each other. We step into the space that we need to step into, and we're not even together. And I think that I'm really proud of that, and I'm really proud of what I've learned through that, and what I've learned in order to be able to help create that with him. Because I think that what I'm getting at is the work that I do with men and women around communication with the opposite sex, whether it's like learning how to pick up a woman or a man, or whether it's revamping a marriage that's on the rocks. I've helped quite a few people to reignite the flame in their marriage, and it's great. Sarah says it's great you opened up about your past relationships. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to be as blah, trying to be as transparent as possible without, hurting anyone else's feelings. Yeah. Anyway, let's leave it at that. Yeah, I think it's important to be transparent about your relationships, because I run workshops for women especially, and if I went into it saying, oh, I'm like the master of marriage, I'm actually not married anymore. I'm totally owning that, but I'm also owning the fact that that I have the most magical relationship with the man that I'm no longer married to, and we've done it in a way that's very mindful and very aware. And so anyway, yeah, what I was trying to get back to was I am ready to start working with men on relationships and dating, and how to call in the woman that they actually really want, rather than just like randoms, just hoping that the right one will turn up. And the same with women. I do find, talking to friends and even sifting into my own stuff, is just like, yeah, mainly friends in this one, and women that I work with, is like they think, oh, the one will come, That's actually, in my opinion, bullshit. Because I think you can be the one for anyone, and I believe, if I believe you can meet the one in your hometown, going to your home gym. You know, I believe the one could also be a Frenchman that you met in Portugal while you were scuba diving and you bumped into each other. Like, I honestly don't even believe there's the one. I believe that we have lots and lots of soul, connections. And through my own experience, I believe you can love many, many people. And the love that you have for one person doesn't take away anything from the love you have for another person. And that's really important to know as humans too, when you've been in relationships and there might have been some mistrust or some cheating or something like that. A lot of people think that takes away from their own relationship, like the person that went outside and then it's like, oh, we're all screwed up. It doesn't actually change the way that you feel about the person who cheats. It doesn't change the way they feel about the person that they still love. It's just something that's happened. Anyway, I'm digressing. I wanted to talk a little bit today about what do I want to talk about? A little bit around why the sexes don't get each other. And I find this, I love this work because it's so counterintuitive. So I feel like I have like this magic key. I know I don't. I've learned this from other people, and yeah, through my own experiences. But so why we don't get each other is because the male and the female brain works so differently. And the male is a very focused individual as a whole. This is not 100% of men. This might be 99.9. And they're very focused individuals, and that's like this single focus. Basically, let's call it a single focus, because when a man focuses on one thing, he focuses on one thing, and anything else that's in his vision around him, he loses focus of. And as women, we think that that's a really shitty quality to have, because we expect men to be like us. We actually, this is funny, as women, we sometimes say we wish they were more like us, but then we don't want them to be like us because that makes them feminine, and then we lose our lust for them, and their masculinity dies, and with their masculinity dying, our femininity also dies. And yeah, so men are single focused and women are diffuse, not focused. Women have a diffuse awareness. So that basically means women don't focus. Women don't focus. We don't focus. Like, ladies, when you're walking through the house, like who's with me here? When you're walking through the house and you're like, oh shit, the pot plant needs watering, and oh no, the bathroom's dirty. It's telling me it needs to be cleaned, and oh, there's dishes on the sink, and oh, I've got to remember to make that appointment, and we never focus on anything. We never can sit down. What woman, like, is there anyone on here? I'm really interested to know. Is there any woman on here that can sit down and go, or stand up, whatever, but can go, I am totally focused on one thing and nothing else comes into my line of sight while I'm focusing on this one thing? Because it's all very good to say, you know, oh, she's a focused woman, she's very driven, etc., etc. That's not a focused woman. That's just someone who has set their goals and they know how to achieve them. But there's a lot of shit going on in the meantime, like to and fro. So basically no one has said that they that they can focus as women on one thing at a time. But men, you know, we look at men and we're like, why can't they multitask? That's, you know, how can they not? It's because our brains are geared differently. They're hunters, we're gatherers. So I was actually talking to a man today, and I was talking about this. And it's funny because I talk about the work that I do, because people say, like, what sort of work do you do? And I'm like, well, my passion is working with men and women and around this sort of stuff, around relationships and around understanding the opposite sex more. And funnily enough, I was explaining to him how women being gatherers, we talk all around the subject. We talk about, you know, all of the little, for instance, Alison Armstrong, she explains it perfectly. As a gatherer, you go out to gather berries and you remember all the little landmarks along the way. So you remember the tree with the, you know, low-lying branches, and then you remember the little stream, and you turn left at the stream, and then there was like some grasses with some yellow flowers. And you're telling, like, so you remember all these landmarks so that when you want to find those beautiful berries again, you can explain to your other gatherers, your other women, the women we talk to so much, blah, 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 then you can explain to them how to find the berries. And I just love that analogy. It's amazing. And it makes so much sense because, and I was talking to this man, this beautiful man, and I was explaining all of this. I caught myself doing it, like absolutely doing it, like, and I was like, oh my God, I'm actually blabbering, like, which is what women do. We just talk and talk and talk all around the subject, not actually getting to the point. We're talking about all the little landmarks on the way to the berries. So like the tree, and then there was this, and then there was that, and then this happened, and then he said and she said, and then and so then this happened. And it's like the guy is looking at you going, what part was I meant to remember? Because the male awareness is like going, okay, give me the point of the story. Give me the point, and I can do that. I can remember that. I can deal with that. So, ladies, what I'm getting at here is like a little bit of a tip is when you're talking to a hunter, aka a man, don't talk like you're talking to a gatherer, aka a woman. So when you're talking to a woman, yeah, tell her all the landmarks on the way to the berries. And this happened, and he was cute. And then I looked over on the side of the road, and there was a stranded doggy. So I picked it up and I took it to the vet. And then finally, I got to my point of my story. So what I'm saying is, do that with your female friends. Amazing. That's how we understand each other. We're looking for, like, you know, and you'll notice when women don't do that around each other, they don't embellish on the story, then they don't feel like they can trust that other woman just yet, or maybe at all. They might just give the, you know, bare minimum and that's it. And that's just, you know, maybe a lack of connection between those two women or whatever. So women, when you're talking to a man, say the point of the story. If he asks you what you want, tell him what you want. Don't give him all the stuff, all the trimmings on the side. Don't give him all the little veggies on the side of the roast. Give him the goddamn roast. Like, that's what men need to hear is, you know, as women, we always expect, oh, you know, I dropped so many hints and, you know, he still doesn't get the point. It's like, stop dropping fucking hints. Tell him what you could. It's so useful, Nikki, in a classroom, understanding the difference between the way boys and girls communicate, men and women communicate. Oh my God, it's paramount, honestly. You use the same keys to understanding or communication with little boys and little girls as well. So much. Oh my God, so helpful. Okay, so yeah, so women, instead of dropping hints all the time, instead of expecting your man to get the message without actually saying it, say the fucking message. Oh, swearing is just so happens everywhere. Um, and men, if you're watching this, I don't know how many men are watching this, but there's got to be some. Men, if you're watching this, um, you women. Men need to be heard. Men definitely need to be heard. There's another key. There's another point. Women, do not ever butt into a man's conversation, not conversation. When he's speaking, let him speak. Don't butt in. You know, he's probably, even if he talks for like 10 minutes, sometimes it's hard to do, but even if you think he's wrong, even if he's totally on the wrong tangent, even if that's not what you meant and he's saying something different, don't butt in. Just let him finish. It's the utmost respect to a man, and it really is a way to help them to, yeah, open up and to shine. We don't understand how to do that, and it's a pretty decent practice to learn how to shut up when a man is talking, learn how to respect his space, and allow him to finish, because, yeah, essentially, yeah, he has something to say, allow him to finish. And it's the same thing with women. I really believe that as women, we want to be heard, and man, this is going to be really painful, like utter torture. When a woman starts talking, when a woman starts talking, allow space for that. Just zip it. And then, like, the only thing that you would do, instead of like stopping her and being like, no, that's not right, or but don't you think this, or don't you think that, instead of doing that as a man, because as a man, the focus, the single focus, the man's awareness wants to, if there's an issue and she's bitching, or she's, you know, talking about this or that, or how this came up, you want to fix it. A man wants to fix it, and that's totally beautiful, and we should respect that as women as well. It's definitely, at a lot of points, men can fix so many of our problems, 99.9. We got to fix our own, but men can really step into that space too. But as a man, if you're on a date, or you're in a marriage, or you're, you know, talking to a school teacher about your son's report card or whatever, as a man, when a woman talks, listen to what she has to say, look her in the eye, don't look away, and nod, just nod. And then occasionally you might go, yep, yep. And that's all we want. We don't want you to fix our problems. Women don't, like, agree with me here, ladies. We don't want you to fix our stuff. We just want to talk about it a lot. And so that's where, like, communication gets all screwed up, because men think, oh, the woman is bringing around this problem, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to tell her what to do to fix it. And the woman's like, oh my God, you know, like, why can't he just give me sympathy? Or why can't he just listen? Or, you know, this is so ridiculous that, you know, I don't understand why we were made that way. I don't understand, you know, Adam and Eve were meant for each other, but they speak different languages. It's like putting a French man and a Japanese woman together and being like, okay, we're not ever going to allow you guys to learn each other's language, but happily ever after, you're welcome. So, yeah, so where am I at? So there's a few little tips, you know, even if you're dating, like, if you show a genuine interest in a woman, sit there and listen to her. And look, she might talk for 15 minutes. Oh my God, the pain and the torture. I totally understand you. That as men, that you just, like, you're just thinking, I just want to shoot myself in the head. But if you're wanting to hold space for this woman, if you're wanting things to go any further, or even just wanting to not be seen as a dick, then just shut up and listen. That's all women want. We just want to be listened to. And in a relationship, you could just, you know, you could set boundaries around that. You could be like, okay, I just want to, as a man, I want to sit down, babe, and I want to listen to you. And you might say, you know, you might be open with her and just say, look, I've heard about this tool where, you know, I'm learning to communicate with you better, and you're learning to communicate with me better. And, you know, I want to allow like 10 minutes for you to just open up. And as a man, don't fix it. Don't fix her problems. And as a woman, I would encourage you not to spill your problems to your man, because it's really hard for him not to want to fix that. Like, get your girlfriends around, you know, it's like holding the bucket, you know. Well, one spews into the bucket, the other one holds it, and the other one holds their hair out of their face. So it's like, that's what women can do for each other. Whereas a man just wants to, like, I don't know what you do to fix that, take you to hospital, you know what I mean? Like, don't expect a man that doesn't understand this kind of work to hold the bucket and to listen to you, because you'll lose them so quickly. And that's a tip in dating. If you're dating, just, you know, get to the point, ladies, get to the point and hold space for him and listen to him. And instead of giving your opinion, men don't want your opinion unless they ask for it. Just say, I understand. You know, if he's saying, this happened and that happened, I hear you. I understand. That's essentially part of communication. It's a really big key, and it's hard to do. We do it a lot in the workshops that I run, and it's one of the things people go, oh, it's so easy, and then you put them in pairs, and it's just like, and you're like, wait, that's not how it, remember the listening part? What else did I want to cover? Women, just speak clearly about what you want, you know. If you want something from a man, it doesn't have to be your man, it can be somebody else's man, appropriately, of course, but there could be the mailman, could be the man at the, you know, toy shop. I don't know what this, my life's toys, and anyway, but ask for what you want. You know, if you want a refund at a shop and there's a man there, say, look, I have this problem with this item and I would like a refund. Instead of being like, oh, well, I went home and this happened and it broke, and do you really think that's very fair? And it's not very good on, you know, like, reflection of your company. Fuck's sake. Just say what you want. This item doesn't serve me and it's not what I thought it was, and I would like a refund, please. So simple. What else? Okay, here's like my last mega key for men is, men, when you want to communicate with a woman, because of what I said earlier in this live video about women can't focus, it's really important that you create a space for her to focus as much as she can. So her house is not her space. Like, even while I'm sitting here, I'm aware of the fact of me going, oh, my bench, like my work desk is a little bit messy. I should water the plants. Oh, it's warm. I should turn the fan on. Oh, I've got to turn the candles off before I leave the room. Like, fuck, women just constantly shit going through our heads. As a man, I mean, I'm not a man, but as a man, I could essentially sit here and be like, fuck, it's hot. And that would be it, you know? And that doesn't mean men are simple by any means. It means they're fucking awesome and they can think about one thing at a time, which I respect so much more. The more and more I understand men, the more I really respect them so much in their difference in awareness to us. Okay, so the way to get a woman to say what she wants and to speak and communicate and open up is to take her to a quiet space where all of this shit isn't talking to her. It's usually not in her home space, because that's where she wants it to be tidy, or she wants it to be this, or she's disappointed she hasn't got the washing under control, blah. You can even just like create a catchphrase that you would tell her, like, when I say this, I need you to focus. You know, it could literally be like, hey babe, could we just focus for 5 minutes? And you could both know that, okay, that's the phrase that we say when it's time to connect, when it's time to focus on what's going on. You know, as a woman, you might say, hey, would it be okay for you to give me some time right now? Something like that. Just something like something that when you say that particular phrase, that man, that woman can just go, oh, they need my time, right? Everything else, stop, you know? So as a man, when you want to communicate with a woman, when you want her to stop, you know, like all of the shit in her head and she's not listening to you, take her to a quiet space where that doesn't happen, and communicate with her that way. And ask your women to, any woman, even if you don't even know her, as first date or, you know, whatever, ask her to be very clear about what she wants. Be very clear about what she wants, and just explain to her, look, men, as a man, I need to know exactly what you want. If you want, you know, women say, oh, you know, I just feel like we're not, like, we just need more connection. So for a man, that could mean she wants to have a lot more sex. And the woman can be like, oh my God, all he wants is sex. And it just becomes this mess of like, I thought that's what she wanted. And she's like, that's not what I wanted. So we just need to be more specific. We need to be so much more specific. So if a woman says, you know, like, we've gone stale, okay, what is it going to take? What does it look like to not be stale? And it might just look like something like massage my shoulders every now and then, or it might look like buy me some gifts every now and then, or it might look like ring me from work in the middle of the day to let me know you're thinking of me. Or, you know, there's so many things that as women we need to communicate to men, because men don't, like, they're not mind readers. Like I said, they're single focused, and that's a beautiful thing in itself, right? And so, yeah, so that's, yeah, no one has any questions. No one's asking anything. What else? And look, as much as, you know, there's the masculine, there's the feminine, they balance each other, etc., etc. When you really step into doing these little tips that I've pointed, or big tips that I've pointed out, really easy stuff, when you as a woman step into that space, when you as a man step into that space, obviously if you're a man, you step into the man space, woman step into the woman space. When you do that, when I become more feminine, I attract more men who are very much more masculine. When I'm in my masculine, which is, I'm in my masculine a lot because I run my own business and I've got children, I have decision making, and I'm fucking, you know, like goal setting, and whoo, I'm in my masculine a lot. So I do attract a lot of femininity around me to balance that. Like, it just happens. It's the yin and the yang. It's the balance. So I'll find that if I don't tap into that and go, oh, like, you notice that softness already, like just a big breath, or putting on some beautiful dance music, or, you know, moving your hips, or, you know, just like a little bit of stillness and a little bit of, yeah, yin. That's the feminine, the softness. So you see that difference in shift of like, okay, this is what you need to do to, oh, like, I'm an open vessel. And so if you feel like you want to, as a woman, you want to attract more of a masculine man, be more feminine, dress more feminine, speak more feminine. If as a man you feel like you attract women who are overpowering, then you could essentially be more masculine. That's interesting. And what would that look like? A masculine man is quite sure of himself. He's aware, but he's focused, and he's confident. Yeah. A masculine man is confident in his masculinity. So yeah, and I think we can really, on a side note, teach our children a lot about that. Like, when as mums, maybe you're a mum, this might help you. My 8-year-old boy, and so I have an 8-year-old boy and a 5-year-old daughter, and we go out for dinner at least once a week, and he always orders. Like, it's a thing that he takes up the masculine role when we go out, when we're ordering dinner. So he will check in with us, ladies, what would you like? And when the waiter comes to the table, he'll be like, we'll have one of these, we'll have one of those, we'll have one of those. And I think it's really important to teach our kids a balance of, you know, like, stepping into their power and being soft. And, you know, I do the same with my daughter. It's like, okay, you know, soften. Don't be such a hard ass all the time. Yeah, you know, like, allow the boy to make the decisions. And so Coulter, my son, you know, like, she's like, no, I want to be the boss. And I'm like, you know what? soften, allow him to make the decisions every now and then, and feel, you know, that it's nice to be taken care of. It's a beautiful thing. It doesn't mean you're any less powerful, but I tell you what, as a masculine woman, as a woman who's quite dominant and has been masculine in a lot of areas in my life, having control, having power, blah, 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 the feminine is the most amazing place for me. It is just like ultimate divinity. It makes me feel alive. So when I'm around a man who is sure of himself and is quite powerful and not arrogant, but just like softly but dominantly aware, it's like I could fall in love in a second. And I like, you know, essentially not go and get married and have, you know, whatever. But you know, I think I fall in love with a lot of people in the sense that I have a lot of people that I love so much because I'm pretty open. Yeah, Kathy, that's lovely. Rod always orders and pays. How lucky am I? So lucky, Kathy. But you radiate femininity, which is so helpful. You're such a beautiful woman and you're always dressed so femininely and you're so soft. So that's actually a lot of your doing. Thanks, Kylie. Amazing insight. And I just had an inbox from someone. It just popped up really quickly that I had an inbox and it says it was about this chat. If you're not comfortable to ask questions on the chat, that's totally okay. We can connect afterwards. What I would say is you're welcome to contact me after this and see if we'd be a good fit to maybe have a Skype session, or if you're in Newcastle or you like to travel to Newcastle, we could have a one-on-one session. And I do these sessions called Unfuck Yourself, which I do workshops called Unfuck Yourself, which are full day workshops, sometimes weekends, sometimes I can bring it down to a few hours, and I'll be doing one shortly in Newcastle in one of the yoga studios here. And I'm not going to give away any details just yet, but it is the yoga studio that I practice mostly at the moment. So we'll be doing an Unfuck Yourself workshop there in March, the 4th of March, I believe. So if you'd like more details on that, you can contact me. And, you know, if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're human, honestly, if you feel like that you could improve in your life, contact me, because I absolutely love working with people around not just relationships, but breaking free of, you know, anything from addictions, like the client I just saw before I did this live feed, to, you know, people just wanting to get something more in their life. I do not know what that says, Karadugly, but thanks for dropping in anyway. Yeah, so if you'd like to work with me, you can inbox me, or you can jump on my website, www.zoeswain.com. I don't even know. Why do we say www? It's such a zoeswain.com. And we can connect, like I said, Skype sessions, one-on-ones. I do a lot of different stuff, but honestly, I feel like when it's a good fit, it's a really good fit, and we get such amazing results with people, and I absolutely love what I do. So if you're feeling a pull towards it, then drop me a line and we can connect that way. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. I mean, I have so much to say, but yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I don't want to make this too long. So please leave a comment or a message, or, you know, questions or anything like that. I always love to hear from people, and shout out to everyone who's watched and listened. Yeah. All right. Amazing. Have an incredible Tuesday night.